Customer service and professional development. How do you achieve and maintain quality customer service throughout your organisation? You get a visitor book and you get the visitors to sign it, and that's all fine. And believe me, there are people who will tell us that that's how they monitor customer service. They get their visitor book. In fact, some will even take excerpts from their visitor book and say this is how we measure customer service. Now, if that's how you measure customer service, then we would suggest that's probably a waste of time. I can't remember reading too many visitor books where someone said, this place is awful. This place did not live up to expectation. Because if you've got something nasty to say, you tend to go away and say it to 20 other people, not necessarily write it in the book. We want to delve a little bit more deeply into how you achieve and maintain quality customer service. How do you ensure, and I mentioned before, Angela, you made a lot of mess down here with your chocolate.
Standing guard, okay.
I mentioned before about the need to guarantee that you deliver on your promise. And that's really important. So if you go out and you say to the world that you're going to deliver this, you're going to provide this, you are the best at this, you're going to have a wonderful experience at our place, and they don't, then you're failing to deliver on your promise. But you need to know that. You need to be measuring it and monitoring it and making sure that you're aware of it. So you need to have policies and processes in place to ensure that those people who are delivering your experience or providing your service on your behalf are doing it in a way that you can have confidence in. We simply cannot be in our business 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have to at times have confidence and believe that those people who are doing our work for us are delivering on what we've said we'll deliver. So you need to have some processes in place. We need to know what those processes are. We need to know that you've got a way to communicate with your staff to ensure that they are delivering your product. And your staff might be your partner. Let's not get confused. It's your staff, your service providers don't have to be the 460 staff members you've got. It could be you and your partner and the gardener. And they could be really important. When we had motels, we realised that the most important people we had working for us were the ladies who were cleaning our rooms. Because in fact they were the people who were talking directly to our customers. They were the people who were saying, have you been up to Broken Hill? Oh, you really need to go to Broken Hill for the week or for a couple of days. Or just go for a drive and come back and stay in a motel. They were really important. So you need to make sure that those people know their roles, fully understand their roles and are delivering it. So it comes back to that training of your staff, that making sure that they know their roles and responsibilities and they are delivering them, and you've got checks in place to make sure that you know they're doing it. The simple one is customer feedback. And I think that's easy enough to get. That's as someone's checking out, as someone's paying their bill, as someone's leaving the restaurant, did you enjoy it, were you happy with that, etc., etc. But again, you've now got TripAdvisor, you've got all sorts of other ways to measure your customer feedback. So you need to make sure that you are keeping an eye on that and monitoring that. Again, if there's a person who's got that unpleasant experience that wants to make something of it, they're going to put it on TripAdvisor or some other form of social media, and you need to be prepared to respond to it. So you need to be constantly in tune. So we want to know all of those processes. Now it might be that customer feedback is important. It might be that you say that every Tuesday at 2 o'clock you go and check TripAdvisor. Or you have a system in place that TripAdvisor, every time someone registers, it comes through to you to confirm that there's been a comment made about your property on TripAdvisor and you can respond to it. We want to know about that. We want to know that that's the processes you've got in place. We want to know that you are working and communicating with your staff and identifying what they're doing, making sure that they're trained properly and that they have ongoing training. And we want to see some, if they're there, we want to see evidence of what you've done. That you found that the guy who's mowing your lawns is constantly talking to your customers. So by providing your gardener with some additional skills and knowledge, you've actually now turned him into an ambassador for your business, and he's starting to help deliver. And then he's not just out there mowing the lawns and cutting the trees. He actually feels that he's part of the business, he's engaged, he's connected, and he's of some value to the whole of the business, not just to the outside. It's not huge stuff, but again, remember, this question's worth 8.
Something along those lines.
I get a bit paranoid about numbers.
Yep.
So there's 4 questions in this section, and the other 3 are worth 4. So it's telling us how you do those processes.
Don't forget the and maintain bit. It's how do you achieve and maintain, and that's the common theme in the judge's feedback.
Which is again that ongoing training, that communication, that talking to your customers, talking to your staff, making sure that they're part of the process and doing it on a regular basis. Again, I get a little bit miffed when I read, we have annual review processes in place. So what, you talk to your staff once a year? Really not ongoing. So let's explore ways to expand on that. Any questions on that one before I go on? That feedback loop's really important. That's when the customer comes and says, yeah, I really wasn't happy with that. Great. Didn't like the fact, put that there. Let's review why it's there. And decide we're going to move it back there because their customers aren't happy with it. We've responded to our customers. We've responded to their needs. It's in red. This is the first thing we've had in red all day, so this must be very special. People with specific needs.
Not special needs. The question doesn't say special needs, it says specific needs.
But that's what we get fairly regularly. We get, yes, we've got a ramp for wheelchairs. Great, that's good, thank you very much. And we've got disabled toilets. That's good, wonderful. Then we can deal with people who've got language issues, or they're blind, or elderly, or they've got kids. Expand on it. It has to include all this. It's people that have got special interests. I might change the word interests to needs. We've all got individual needs. Every customer that comes through your door has an individual need of some description. It mightn't get to you, you mightn't need to worry about it, but I think to me this is about personalising your business. You are not running an abattoir where 700 cows come through and maybe treat them all the same. Or would you rather use something else? Okay, something other than that. But you're not running a business where every single individual is identical. Every person that you deal with, whether you're in a restaurant or in a hotel or motel or a tour or whatever, have some level of special needs or interests or specific needs. We want to know how you find out about them. And again, our staff are observant, and if someone walks up to the counter, we can observe that they're in a wheelchair and therefore they have special needs. It's not enough. It's good, it's a start, but we want to know more about it, particularly if people are booking online. Do you have the ability for people online to tell you about their own individual needs? Make sure that they have the ability to tell you without necessarily having to come up to you in front of 5 other people who are standing in the queue and saying, oh, excuse me, I've got special needs of some description, or I need this, or I need that, or whatever. Look after your customers, treat them as individuals. But that's almost me waxing lyrical about what you should do. It's how you do it that we want to know. How do you identify those people? How do you identify those needs? So be precise. I don't know whether it's in the Sapphire submission, but when you talk to the people at Pure Tasmanian, they talk about the personal knowledge they have of their customers. And it's sort of what sets that business apart, is that they almost know exactly what you like and what you don't like, what coffee you drink and what foods you eat and what drinks you drink and what books you read and what newspapers you read. They know them. They've explored them. Now, for a business of Sapphire's, quality and significance, that's really important to them. It may not be the extreme that every other business goes to, but if you have that ability to build that awareness and relationship with your customers, and you have processes in place that allow you to develop some of that knowledge, share that with us so that we know about it. Anything else, Cass? No. It's in red. You don't want me to go back? Yeah, I think we've been through that. Again, I think in talking to the guys at Sapphire, it's as much about their staff being aware, being observant, and reporting back. And I think there's that opportunity again within your own organisations. Make sure that each of your or your employees and those who work with you or your volunteers or whatever aren't just there to deliver on what they're asked for, but they're actually observant and they're noticing and they're picking up specific points of interest and sharing it with the group. Yeah, this is really interesting because I think again the larger businesses seem to be able to answer this more effectively than the smaller businesses because they have in place all of those processes to identify the roles, the responsibilities, the position descriptions, the monitoring, all of those things for their staff because they really need to, because they're trying to manage a large staff number. And yet mum, dad and a couple of other people working in a small business seem to really struggle with this particular thing because they just get up in the morning and they run the business and they go to bed at night and it's done. But in fact, it's quite, I think it's probably as easy for the small businesses as it is for anybody to make sure that they've got processes in place that identify what their skills are within their employment base, what professional skills, what personal skills they have, and then clearly identify and articulate what training is required to improve those people. And if we accept at any stage that every one of our staff members and ourselves is perfect, we are kidding ourselves. Just ask those who work for me. I'll tell you, we're a long way from perfect. There's all sorts of skills and needs that we can embrace to improve what we're doing, but very rarely do we actually identify what they are. So if you've got processes in place, again, it's the performance management, it's the training needs, it's all of that stuff. If you've got them in place, we want to know about them. We want to know how you identify the potential training needs and professional development for your staff.
I can think of one business last year who their review process was as simple as we have 5 o'clock drinks on a Friday afternoon and we talk about the week and we talk about what's been done or any challenges we've had or something that came up where this person, this customer was after this and we don't do this. Is this something that maybe we should look into? Because we've had a number of customers have asked if we provide this. Just something as simple as that, a team meeting over a couple of glasses of wine.
Great idea. We could do that now. D, and I've jumped to D, because I probably should still go back to C. Sorry, A, B, C, D. We'll go back to C. But if you're going to then describe the training and skills development programs that you've undertaken, you can't actually give us that information if you haven't clearly articulated the question before how you've identified those needs. And I find quite often that people do. They say, oh yes, we have our workshops, we have our sessions, we have our formal performance reviews, we do all that stuff, it's all good, and we identify the needs. And then we get over here and we have first aid courses, because we think that's important. Or we have barista courses, because we want to make coffee. Hold on, was any of that identified back here? And how was it identified back here? link the two together. Show there's a connection between your identification of needs and requirements and the delivery of the programs and skills that you do. And they don't have to be all formal. It might be, as Cass said, that you have your drinks on a Friday night and you decide in your own environment that there is something you can do collectively as a team to better deliver the product that you're doing. And you work on it. It might be just how you set the rooms up. It might be just how you work together as a team. It might be just how you communicate, a change of shifts. It just may be something in-house that you can do. Or it might be that you all go out to dinner once every month to check out the opposition's restaurant. Just have a look and see what they're doing. And that's part of your in-house training. You don't have to go to the formal qualifications. Great if you do, if you have the opportunity to pursue them. We've got a young lady working for us who's been working for 4 years, and we say to her every year, we'd like you to expand your skills, particularly your computer skills, your graphic design skills. She came to us the other day and said, I want to do a marketing degree. That to us is just like a dream come true. This person that we've been building and fostering for a number of years suddenly said, I want to do a marketing degree. Bang! Grab that formal qualification. Someone said to me, I think it was the boss or someone else said, what happens if we train her and she goes? I said, I don't care. If we train her, she's going to be so much better. So look at the formal qualifications, looking for those opportunities. So come back to C, identify what the skills are, deliver them, link them back to there so that they're clearly articulated that we've delivered these programs to meet the needs that were identified in C. Don't forget to include the results. It's tell us the benefits of it.
Don't just say this qualification was achieved. Say what that then gives to your business and what that then gives to the individual who's attained those qualifications.
We ran a course for our staff, a barista's course, so they make better coffee. And in the recent edition of XYZ magazine, we had the best coffee in our town, as determined by somebody else. So the course was, we identified that we needed to do better at making coffee. We ran a barista's course and we got third-party endorsement that our coffee was the best in town. Back to that third-party endorsement. Third-party endorsement from your mum is not necessarily third-party endorsement. It's got to, no, I know, it should be, but it needs to be real. I think that's it. Customer service. I think in reality, when we look at the submissions, people don't do a bad job with this particular section. And it's interesting because quite often it's what we are judged for by as not delivering great customer service. I think that's quite often more about businesses not necessarily being open in winter. But I think the responses we get from the people who enter the awards on this section are normally pretty good.